They've introduced infrared cameras in the house. We're excited about the prospect of some nocturnal activity. Bill Oddie hopes to see a badger. Sean, back over to you. What do you think the nation have been discussing this week?
Well, the bumblebee crisis.
What now?
What? The bumblebee...
Shit! Don't panic! Don't panic! No one panic!
Calm down, it's...
What are you talking about? What bumblebee crisis?
You don't know.
No. In the paper, when it says BB crisis, you know that's Big Brother, don't you?
Female bumblebees, which apparently are the zealous, hard-working sex, are turning into fat, lazy males. This is a crisis because although bumblebees don't make honey, they do a lot of bumbling. And bumbling levels have reached a record low, and it is a real problem.
So what you're saying is there's a lot of lady bees turning into lady boys?
Exactly.
So bumblebees, you're saying, don't make honey?
No.
Right, they just bumble around.
They just bumble, and neither do they sting.
What do they do? Little fat, lazy shits. Do they do anything? Am I dreaming, or is Richard Madeley talking about bees?
Because I can check if that's in the top 5.
I don't think it probably is.
Well, I think people have got to be talking about the shock horror news that Coldplay have been knocked off the #1 spot by...
Jack Shearer.
Crazy Frog.
That's more annoying than the Crazy Frog.
You don't have to pixelate her genitals, so...
Chris Martin has said he wants to catch him and eat his legs. But he's never going to do it. In the video, there's some guy in a rocket bike chasing him. He can't do it.
What, so you're saying the Crazy Frog?
It's got to be there.
Let's see if it's there. Yes! Yes, the Crazy Frog was the most talked about thing this week. The creator of the Crazy Frog has said, and I quote, "I would never have it on my phone. If it came on the television, I would turn it off. Even before it went on the website, I began to hate myself." He added, "Bing, bada, bing, 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 bing." 2 more to get. Come on, Dave.
Is it anything to do with the fact that the postal service have had the prices of stamps frozen? I mean, I'm not being unsympathetic, but why should they raise the price of stamps? Because what do the actual postal service do, right? All they do is they collect a letter from a box, right? They stick it in a sorting office, then somebody else takes it to a train station, who takes it up north to Newcastle, and then another bloke picks that up from there, takes it to another sorting office, he'll then sort it out again, and then he'll give it to another man, who gets on a bicycle and rides for 4 miles on his bike in the rain and delivers it to someone in the middle of nowhere, right? And they want 22p for that. It's a rip-off, isn't it? Oh, what
I was intrigued by this. I don't know if you saw this, that Tesco are now... you can get funerals at Tesco, which is fantastic, isn't it, really?
You get funerals at Tesco?
Oh, shop till you drop, yeah.
What is it? Oh! That's not one of the 5 big talking points this week. I'll tell you what, we've got 2 more to get. Fingers on buzzers. Buzz in if you think you know what the people have been talking about this week.
Yeah,
okay?
buzz.
Sean.
I think it has to be the rejection of the European Constitution by the French and the Dutch. Have said no, and ni.
I mean, the great thing is that now we don't have a referendum, because has anybody any idea what you'd be voting for?
I've got no idea at all.
Does anybody have any idea?
it's obvious. You're voting about whether Liverpool should be in Europe now.
Oh, that's fair enough.
Well, let's have a look and see if the European vote was up there. Yes, it was. The next round is called the Poll with a Hole. We've looked through hundreds of surveys, past and present, from around the world and unearthed some fascinating facts. Unfortunately, each statistic is missing one salient piece of information, so it's up to our panellists to fill in the gaps. Dave, David and Krishnan, 10% of British men lie about what at school reunions?
What school they went to?
You like that one, didn't you, Dave? That tickled you, didn't it?
Very good.
So 10% of British men lie about...
Well, maybe there's no word there, it's just lie about at school reunions.
You can lie about when they first had sex, if they had sex.
I'm going to give you that. At school reunions, 10% of British men lie about the number of sexual partners they've had. I lied about mine. I rounded the number up to 1. OK, Sean, Tara and Christian, this is from a poll by Churchill Insurance from January of this year.
Okay.
Women spend, on average, £100,000 on what during their lifetime?
Is it women spend an average of £100,000 on, judging from the tampon adverts, is it skydiving and rollerblading lessons?
You really understand women, don't you?
Of course I do, yeah.
The women I've gone out with, it's not rent,
Oh, bitter.
Oh, Christ.
You've been hurt, haven't you?
Oh, God.
Botox?
Average.
I can still frown, by the way.
Is it,
Go on, have a frown.
Yeah,
Frown?
Botox.
A frown? That's frowning, is it? There's nothing from there up.
Well, exactly, so Botox.
It's the average woman, not the average socialite.
I know, clothes.
Yes! Dave's team next. This is from last June. 44% of American dads say that what features in their sex lives?
Jacko.
The letters WWW.
Is it being bummed in the woods by hillbillies? It's smutty, this show, isn't it?
I shall tell you this because it's quite difficult to get. 44% of American dads say that religion features in their sex lives. Sean, this is according to a survey featured in The Mirror in April. The popularity of what has increased by 26% in the last 3 years?
Bird flu.
You're half right.
I thought it was going to be something like Gary Glitter. You know, because about 3 years ago, anyone said, what do you think of Gary Glitter? People go, no, I don't like him. Whereas now, they go, oh, not really. So that's more popular, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I can see that theory
Things have
working.
got slightly better for him.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
You know, they've started playing his music again. What if Jackson gets done, will they stop playing his music?
Radio 2 have said they're going to.
They're going to carry on playing it, even if he goes...
No, if he gets put away, no more Jacko 5
Really?
songs. Yeah.
No, it's a shame Phil Collins is such a law-abiding citizen.
Shall I have to tell you this? The popularity of bird watching has increased by 26% in the last 3 years. Most ornithologists agree. Those birds are definitely up to something. Sean, over to you. What do you think people have been talking about this week?
What about Mike Tyson giving up boxing to become a wedding planner?
Would you get most of your news from Take a Break magazine?
Sorry to interrupt you. Do you know when they reported it to Evander Holyfield? They went to him and said, Tyson's given up, and he went, no. He said, yeah, he's actually given up, and he went, I can't believe me ear.
I can tell you it wasn't in the top 5. It was the 19th most talked about thing this week. Mike Tyson has announced this week that he wants to quit boxing. He said that he wants to become a Christian missionary. Though when asked to make the sign of the cross, he said, Arrgh. OK, you've got 3 more to get. Fingers on buzzers.
Prince Harry at Sandhurst.
Yeah, so this is the story of a Sun journalist breaking into Sandhurst with a fake bomb.
The thing is, they're always doing this, aren't they? The tabloids, the Sun and the Mirror, they're constantly, like, you know, trying to breach security arrangements. And I imagine every time Al Qaeda read it, they just go, I wish we'd thought of that.
Claudia, are you worried about Harry's safety?
Yes. I was undecided. It was 50... Well, yes, a little. Well, I bet...
You haven't thought about it, have you?
No.
He said they took a fake bomb in there, which basically is anything, isn't it? You know, a brush is a fake bomb, isn't it?
Well, let's have a look and see if this was one of the most talked about things this week.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it was. This is the story of a Sun journalist who smuggled a fake bomb into Sandhurst. Harry was initially excited. He thought they'd smuggled in a bong.
Is it the story about people trying to sell... the ticket touts trying to sell on eBay, the Live 8 tickets? Because I was disgusted by that, as everybody was.
What did you bid?
I wouldn't bid, honestly. I was disgusted. Like, Bob Geldof said boycott it for a week, but they backtracked, so I didn't bother. But at one point, I was going to get me snuff movies and me ivory chess set from somewhere else. And then...
When you say snuff movie, it's some old bloke going...
Yeah. Just going, bloody weather.
Let's have a look and see whether the Live 8 eBay ticket fiasco was one of our most talked about stories.
Oh, yes.
Yes. The second most talked about thing this week. You've got 1 more to guess.
Is it by any chance the world debt? The fact
Tell
that
me
they're
more.
going to reduce the world debt. The Western world is going to reduce the African debt, and it's going to work out to about £1 per person per year, right? Which I thought, that's quite good, isn't it? £1. I'm quite happy to give that to solve. But then they said, for 10 years. I was thinking, that's £10, isn't it?
Oh, how tight are the Northerns? Oh.
How pompous are the Southerners?
Not very pompous at all. Well, shall we have a look and see whether the debt cancellation is one of our top 5 talked about stories? Yes, I can tell you that the G8 leaders have pledged to drop $40 billion worth of debt. Well, they haven't actually cancelled the debt. What they've done is they've consolidated it into one easy monthly payment. Rwanda gets a charming carriage clock. And don't worry, Chad, no salesman will call. The next round is called the Poll with a Hole. We've looked through hundreds of surveys, past and present, from around the world and unearthed some fascinating facts. Unfortunately, each statistic is missing one salient piece of information, so it's up to our panellists to fill in the gaps. OK, Sean Steen, you are first. 80% of Daily Mail readers don't like what?
Reggae.
They don't like anything, do they? If they had their way, one end of the Channel Tunnel, a big cheese grater, wouldn't it?
Neglect.
Yeah.
I like the way you immediately gave it a name in French.
Did I?
Yeah,
Do you know, I thought that and didn't say it, but obviously I said it.
Is it people whose houses are on wheels? And who like to move about a bit? Settle down for a couple of weeks, burn a few tyres and then move on.
Don't like the way that George Eliot's Mill on the Floss ended. Found it a little downbeat.
It's something rude.
Gay sex?
No,
gag balls.
Ribbing a chimp, they don't like that.
Where might they see sex?
On the telly. Everywhere.
Correct. 80% of Daily Mail readers don't like sex on TV. If you're a Daily Mail reader, look away now.
That's actually quite erotic.
Yeah.
OK, I can't tell you the source of this one, Dave's team, because it would give it away. 80% of doctors are in favour of what?
Kissing it better.
Is it working from home?
80% doctors are in favour of Dr. Fox being struck off.
Is it acupuncture? Only I've had it and it works, you know, it's good. But I always wonder, how did they ever get that past the medical council, that sticking pins in you would... And how did it ever come about? Was it two samurai warriors centuries ago going... Ching, 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 oh, my headache's gone.
Do you know if it goes wrong, do you have to use an acupuncture repair kit?
It's 80% of doctors are in favour of chloramphenicol for red eye in children. This is from a survey that featured in the Daily Express in December 2004. 50% of people can't explain what is.
Is it Kamal from Big Brother?
Sillet bang. What is sillet bang?
What?
What? It's, I don't know, I found it in the bathroom the other day. I'm reading it because I'm on the toilet and... well, you do, don't you? I've done the bleach, I've done the sif. Sillet bang and there's no ingredients on it. It's very Moorish. But I don't...
I'll give you a clue. It's something to do with finance.
Bank.
Yeah, bank.
Yeah, seriously.
What's a bank?
What is a bank? My friend said to me, what's a building society? He said, I don't know what a building society is. And I said, what's a bank? I don't know what a bank is. I don't know what it is. What is it? They say that they've got your money, you know, and...
Then you go in and they give it to you.
Yeah. Usually they have.
I mean, it's not really as easy as that sometimes, you know. They make it difficult for you, you know, and they give you interest and... But somehow, like, they invest your money in things and...
I feel like, Peter, you're auditioning for the thickest man in Europe.
Shall I tell you?
Yeah.
50% of people can't explain what an overdraft is. I'll tell you what, give me your PIN number and I'll show you. So, at the end of that round, it's 5 points for Sean's team and 5 points for Dave's team. Dave, over to you. What else have people been talking about this week?
I was going to say, on a musical theme again, I think people probably were talking quite a lot about Glastonbury.
I want to know why everybody I know that lives in Glastonbury calls it Glastonbury, and everybody who doesn't live in Glastonbury who goes there calls it Glastonbury.
Because they're not as posh?
Perhaps. I'm beginning to think that might be the reason.
Don't some people call it Glastonbury?
What, you mean the staff?
Yeah, the staff. They're sweeping the fields.
Should we have a look and see whether Glastonbury is one of the most talked about things?
Please, let's... Oh, yes.
Yes, it was. Glastonbury was the second most talked about thing this week. Kate Moss almost got E. coli and dysentery from the disgusting toilets. That was before she left Pete Doherty's flat and went to the festival. Sean, over to you. What else have people been talking about?
There was a big thing in the papers, wasn't there, about the Diana, some new book about Diana's come out.
The woman who's written the book was Diana's astrologist, right?
No, I'm sorry, guys, she wasn't an astrologer, she was an energy healer.
Yes.
Is that an electrician?
Let's see if that was one of the most talked about things. Yes, it was the 5th most talked about thing this week. Just think, though, if Diana hadn't died, we wouldn't have that beautiful fountain in Kensington Gardens, and Paris wouldn't have that beautiful slow down sign. Right, now you've got one more to get. Fingers on buzzers.
Is it the celebrations of the Battle of Trafalgar? And they had a big flotilla, armada type thing in the Solent. The thing about it, I suppose, the thing that everyone noticed was that to not offend the French, they decided, rather than have it between the English and the French, they had the blue team and the red team. The idea was that so they don't offend the French. And I think it's a wasted opportunity to offend them. Wonderful opportunity to offend them. Because the French, they like being offended. All their facial muscles are designed to be offended.
When the battle finished, half of our boats came back with 50 cases of Stella, didn't they?
Well, I can tell you that the Battle of Trafalgar was not one of the most talked about things. It was actually the 7th most talked about thing this week. This week saw the reenactment of the Battle of Trafalgar to celebrate its 200-year anniversary. The reenactment wasn't a total success, and I'm sad to report the French have taken Plymouth.
Well, I reckon it could be Big Brother. What does anyone else think?
I don't know, I've been a bit busy this week, smashing myself in the head with an iron. So I didn't get a chance to catch most of it. No, I lie, actually. I've been entrapped by it this week because it's got very, very, very tetchy, hasn't it?
But they don't show enough. They show those two, that straight couple in bed rolling around under that duvet, but you don't get to see, you just see them like, you see lumps moving up and down.
No, there was more detail.
Oh, really?
There was an elbow going.
Oh, right. Is that what that was?
Yeah. I was watching very closely indeed.
It's like the porn you get in an Orkney's hotel, isn't it? Porn channel, it's just an elbow coming out of a duvet. £7.99 for this.
I don't understand why everyone seems to fancy Maxwell so much. He's got no top lip.
Yeah.
He's kind of...
Right, shall we have a look and see whether Big Brother was one of the most talked about things this week?
Yes, well done.
Yes, it was. It's all heating up in the Big Brother house. Saskia and Maxwell were both up for eviction this week. I'm not surprised. They behave like they're the new Posh and Becks. In fact, they're the new Stuart and Michelle. Remember them? They were the new Paul and Helen. Welcome back to 8 out of 10 Cats. Our next round is word association. We've polled the nation and asked people to give us the word or phrase that popped into their heads when we said the following things. OK, everyone, here's your first clip.
And here comes Alan Collier from Doncaster. His hobbies include Taekwondo, which is a form of the martial arts, a bit like karate. You do not argue with Alan Collier.
That was Alan Collier, winner of the 1980 Yorkshire Disco Dance Championships. What I'm looking for is the top 3 things the British public said when we said the 1980s.
Can I just say, isn't television shit nowadays? I mean, if that was on every channel, 24 hours a day, I'd have square eyes.
I'd like to have him in a snow shaker. just constantly dancing like that.
What must his life have been like in Yorkshire? The locals must have constantly been laying siege to his house like the end of Frankenstein or something. Kill the disco dancer.
He's just great, isn't he, Alan Collier?
Can we watch it again?
That's all right. Have another look.
And here comes Alan Collier from Doncaster. You do not argue with Alan Collier.
Not only do you not argue with Alan Collier, you don't talk to him.
Had he just come from the pits when he dressed like that? Do you reckon he talked like that? And he was like, now, zip.
Is this why they started closing down the mines? Because this is what they were getting up to.
Top 3 answers that the public most associated with the 1980s.
Orgies.
Thatcher.
Yes, it is. Second most commonly associated phrase with the word or phrase with the 1980s.
Aha!
Do you mean the band, or have you just thought of something brilliant?
The band, or as they're known in more curious countries, aha!
I can't decide if it's Fame the musical or the Iranian embassy siege.
You were quite close with Fame.
Leroy.
Leg warmers.
Leg warmers. Yes, it was.
Wow.
You've still got to get the most commonly associated word with the 1980s.
The mullet. The mullets were big, weren't they?
I am going to give you that. Yes, the phrase most associated with the 1980s was bad hair. OK, here's your next one. That was, of course, the world-famous water-skiing monkeys of Japan to illustrate the word animals. Fingers on buzzers, what word or phrase did the nation most associate with animals?
You think they would have put those monkeys on those inflatable bananas? It would have looked more...
I think this is the new Neverland. Jackson's latest project.
The thing is, they wouldn't do it if they didn't like it.
Exactly.
They love it.
Yeah.
They've got the option to bail out and have a swim.
Well, since the PG Tips work dried up, you know, they're all working as reps now. I just don't know how a monkey is driving a speedboat. Because you can't trust a monkey. You can train it, you can never trust it.
Yeah. You speak from bitter experience,
Yes,
I imagine.
I do.
If they can send a monkey into space, surely this is nothing. Surely this is a step down for the boys.
It's just the monkeys at NASA pissing about on the day off.
They're having a bit of me time.
When we said animals, what do you think popped into the British public's minds?
Shagging. When I was a kid, dogs on our street, you couldn't go out in the street. They were just doing it, weren't they? Just pushing each other up and down the street. My mum told me they were dancing.
That story is both quaint and disgusting.
It is. And very unsettling, because the first school disco I went to, I got expelled. Is it super furry?
The number one answer was fur. OK, what other word would you associate with animals? You're absolutely right.
That never happened on Family Fortunes, did it?
What other word would you associate with animals? What are they? They're lovely.
Adorable.
Adorable is along the right line.
Lovable.
Friendly.
Cute.
Cuddly.
Cute. Who said cute? You were right. Our next round is face-off. Our teams have 6 well-known faces in front of them. Jesus, George W. Bush, Charlotte Church, Siegfried and Roy, the Queen and Spider-Man. We ask the British public to rank these people in a series of questions. All our teams have to do is guess who came top. Jane, Sean, Patrick and Janet, who would you choose to make your best man speech?
Spider-Man, not for the speech, for the entrance. We wouldn't want Jesus as your best man, because the stag night would be shit, wouldn't it?
How's he going to go on with a ring?
Sean, who do you think the public would choose to do their best man speech?
Spider-Man.
I think he'd be good, Spider-Man. He'd be a better best man than an usher, you know, when you're showing people bride or groom, that's... Sorry. Who's the bride's father? Like that.
The thing with Spider-Man is, like, Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, all the fancy powers. What happened with Elephant Man? What were all that about? Get that one. They didn't even have a cape.
OK, who would you choose to do your best man speech? Dave?
We're going to go for Bush, yeah.
Well, I can tell you that George W. Bush got 10% of the vote.
10%?
Spider-Man got 28%.
We should have gone for Jesus.
But Jesus was the number one answer, so Sean gets the points there. Yes, the top answer there was Jesus. He would, of course, tell the parable of the humble fisherman who got arseholed in Amsterdam and woke up handcuffed to a hooker. OK, Sean, who would be the best guest on Trisha?
Who's the fattest?
What happens on Trisha?
You've never seen the show?
To be fair,
I've seen a bit of it, but I was cycling past a shop at the time. It was just...
It's a chat show where people talk about their problems, and while we're at it,
Yeah.
what is it that you do?
I can't believe there's a row and Janet isn't involved.
I think where you go wrong with Trisha is...
Sorry.
When it comes on, you put, like, across the bottom what the programme's all about. Now, if it's not my daughter wants to be a stripper, it gets flicked off.
Who would be the best guest on Trisha? What do you think, Sean?
Charlotte Church.
Oh.
Why is that?
Just read the papers, my friend. It's all there.
So you've gone for Charlotte Church?
Yeah.
OK.
Yep.
Who are you going to go for?
Jesus.
Well,
I never knew my father.
Queen would be pretty good.
Dysfunctional family,
Blimey.
yeah.
That would be a series in itself.
Well, there is a rumour going around that the Queen can fire ping pong balls out of her fanny. There is. Isn't there? If it's the Trisha show I've been watching.
OK, so you've gone for the Queen, you went for Charlotte Church. I can tell you Charlotte Church got 25% of the vote. Ooh. But the Queen was the top answer with 39% of the vote. Presumably, the headline would be, "Help me, Trisha, my son married a horse." I'm going to show you 5 people who are all popular answers on the same poll. All our panellists have to do is tell me, what's the poll? Here is your first person.
Nowadays, everybody can have their own little bit of the Arctic with a home freezer. And there are 2 main kinds. This one, the upright one, has the advantage of not taking up too much floor space. With the second type of freezer, the chest type, this doesn't happen as much, although it does take up a lot more floor space. And I suppose if you're a very small person, you might find it difficult to find things right down at the bottom.
Delia Smith there. What poll do you think she might have appeared in?
This is a poll of the most patronising people in the world.
It's not a poll of the most patronising people in the world, but well done for your guess.
She knows nothing about freezers, that woman.
Yeah.
I know. I got her top tips book, and it says quite clearly that a chicken should keep fresh in a freezer for 6 months. So I put one in on Tuesday, have a look today, it's dead.
Well, it could be people you'd like to cook dinner for you, but you wouldn't want them to eat it with you. Thanks very much. Can you go now?
OK, next person on the poll. Darth Vader there at the premiere of Shrek 2. What poll do you think Delia and Darth might have appeared on?
Is it a poll of women and fictional emperors?
I'll check for you.
No. The thing I always wonder about Darth Vader, if you think about it, like, he's got that, he wears that all the time, doesn't he? So he never gets any sunlight. You'd think he'd have rickets. He'd be bandy-legged fella like that, just going...
George Lucas is feeling pretty stupid right about now.
Is it people who are white but actually have the voice of a short, fat black man?
Okay, next up, Joss Stone.
Has Darth Vader got his own range of pasta sauces?
Is it famous asthmatics?
No. Next person.
Tonight, singing live once again, Gary Mullen is Freddie Mercury!
Freddie Mercury there. What poll do you think he might have appeared on with Delia Smith and Darth Vader?
Is it people you'd be quite surprised to find out were your father?
He was gay, Freddie Mercury, but he was in the closet, wasn't he? He only came out the day before he died. And I just thought, really? Who knew?
People really didn't know. People used to say he can't be gay, he's got a moustache.
Yeah. The only people who didn't know probably were my nan and Brian May, I reckon. Brian May would just go, no, not Freddie, surely. But I mean, he tried to throw us off the scent with fat-bottomed girls, but...
Let's have a look at the next clip.
Excuse me, Ricky. Ricky, I did see what you were doing. It felt good, didn't it? We all have feelings like this sometimes. I'm just glad you're doing this in the privacy of your own room. I'll be sure to knock next time, okay?
That's not right.
A clip there from a 1975 parental training film to illustrate mothers.
Why didn't she just knock?
Yeah. She said she'd knock next time. She'd made a mistake. She'd learnt from it.
Right. Did she say that?
Yeah.
You absorbed that whole film. Shame it's not the Krypton factor. We'd get loads of points. Surely she should have checked. You know, you might have been building an Airfix kit.
What's worse is if you've been doing it to something on the telly and fallen asleep, when you wake up, she's put a cup of tea there.
Surely, Dave, if your mum put a cup of tea down, you'd hear the cup rattling.
So, Delia, Darth Vader, Freddie Mercury and mothers. What's the poll?
Is this people who have no idea how to communicate in a pleasant way?
I thought Freddie's voice touched millions of people.
Actually, apart from him, who's
Well,
the
you
other
can't
one
have a poll apart from someone, can you? He's the whole object of the game.
It's to do with something that you don't tell anyone.
Secrets.
It's to do with your computer.
Passwords.
Correct.
Oh.
Yes, they've all appeared on a list of the most popular names used for computer passwords. Number 1 on the list was Gandalf. That's tough to crack, isn't it? Right, he's a computer geek, he lives alone. Let's try Gandalf. What's Klingon for Gandalf? We're in. Time for What's the Poll? I'm going to show you 5 people who were all popular answers on the same poll. All our panellists have to do is tell me, what's the poll? Here is your first one.
And the relationship between Mary and this dog is sensational to watch. Oh, this is delightful. And it's almost telepathic. She's using mostly just little signals, not commands. Oh, stunning. Wonderful. What a performance.
What poll do you think dogs might have appeared on?
Is this dogs with specs or just dogs in general?
A friend of mine had a dog, and this is true, it's got a lisp, this dog. And when it barks, it goes like this, it goes, "Rouse!" And then it developed a stammer, and it goes, "Rouse!"
The dogs are a man's best friend, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, is it something to do with a poll of best friends who have at one time or another shit in your kitchen?
No. OK, let's have a look at the next person on the poll. Athlete John Drummond there getting upset to illustrate the Olympics. What poll do you think might have featured the Olympics and dogs?
Is it things that postmen hate? Because postmen hate dogs, and they hate the Olympics.
Why?
Well, the Olympic Village, they go there, and it's just, you know, Saeed Asu Wara Wara, and they've just got to go and find him, haven't they? You ever seen a postman in Olympic Village? Just...
Dogs are going to be allowed into the Olympics. Swimming.
I'd like to see a 24-hour Vic Reeves news channel.
You're in luck.
Yeah.
I actually thought I was appearing on Eat Out of Tin Cans. Well, we would just have to eat out of tin cans and enjoy it for half an hour. That's why I went on this show.
Let's have a look at the next person on the list.
She knows hubby has to work hard, but if only he could be in punctually sometimes. Ah, there he is now. She's heard it plenty of times before, but she actually believes that stuff about being kept at the office.
No, I won't work too hard. I'll be home as soon as possible. Ah, that was the phone. I must go now. Goodbye, darling.
Mobile phones there. Television companies have been accused of profiting from mobile phone voting. If you want to hear the punchline to that joke, text moron to the number on your screen now. What poll do you think mobile phones, the Olympics and dogs might have appeared on?
I know. David Beckham. He did a telephone advert.
Yeah?
Football is going to be in the Olympics, and
Yeah.
Beckham rides a dog when he comes on the pitch.
It was so good, but he sort of fell down on that third one, I felt. OK, let's have a look at the next person.
Milo! A snake! A snake? Where? In the garden. You didn't touch it, did you? No, I didn't. Oh, good. Where is it now? I don't know. I left Doodles. Turtles? It's probably eaten turtles.
That was the tweenies.
The tweenies are pretty terrifying. Yeah. They look sort of like a normal family that live under a mobile phone mast.
Children like dogs, the tweenies, the Olympics, and mobile phones.
Let's have a look at the next thing on the list.
To be attractive, you just have to know that you are and just be happy with yourself no matter what you look like. And then you'll be attractive because everybody's beautiful.
Paris Hilton there. What poll do you think they all might have appeared on?
I think, is it things that they've got other names for? Like she's got a Paris Hilton, her real name's Reading Travelodge. Olympics, a lot of people just go, Olympics, innit? Can I have the points?
I think Paris Hilton is the big clue here.
So she had sex on the internet, and the tweenies have had sex on the internet.
Is it things people have been searching for on the internet?
Yeah, Frankie Moore, that's the correct answer. They all appear on a poll of the most searched words on the internet. Our next round is Face Off. We have 6 well-known Big Brother housemates in the studio. Kamal, Nick, Jade, Victor, Michelle and Maxwell. We asked the public which of these housemates would do best on Mastermind. Who got the most votes?
Why can't I maybe have some votes?
Sorry, it's who would be best on Mastermind.
Yeah.
Did you not understand that question?
I think, Jade, I think you do very well, but you'd be spinning around the chair.
I'm going to say Nick.
You're going to go with Nasty Nick?
Yeah.
OK. Dave's team, what do you think?
I'd love to see Jade on it. Just imagine it would be like you've passed on all 22. The answer to question 1 was Jade.
What would your specialist subject be?
Shoes and handbags.
Who are you going to go for, team?
I think we've got to go for Kamal.
I'll go with that. Yeah.
What do you think, Jeremy?
Well, I don't think any of them are any good, to be honest. I mean... well, I'm sorry, but, you know...
Yeah, they're not like the cast of Hollyoaks, are they?
No.
Victor, what would your specialist subject be on Mastermind?
General knowledge, really, like...
Your specialist subject would be general knowledge?
That would be it.
That is amazing. Yeah. And your specialist subject is general knowledge?
Why, is that not a subject?
Is it not a subject? No, Jade, but when your specialist subject... I can't believe I'm having to explain that to a human being. General knowledge is the general bit, and then they do have a specialist subject.
Oh, in knowledge.
In knowledge, no. Oh, you're adorable. Well, you went with Kamal, you went with Nick. I can tell you that Kamal got 19% of the vote, but the public thought the best person on Mastermind would be Nasty Nick. He got 50% of the vote. According to the public, Nick was voted the housemate that would be best on Mastermind. His specialist subject would, of course, be the role of Buttons in various pantos across the East Midlands. We asked the public, which of these housemates would you most like to meet on a blind date? Who got the most votes? Dave's team.
I'd want to go on a blind date with Jade. I'm picking Jade every time, aren't I? I'm sorry, I would. My worry is she'd never find a place, you know, the arranged place. It's like, I'll meet you outside Ritz's. I'm not going to Brazil.
Okay, who are you going for?
It's got to be Michelle, isn't it?
I think Michelle.
It's got to be Michelle.
I don't, yeah.
No.
We go for Michelle.
Yeah. You're going to go for Michelle?
Even half the chance.
Who are you going to go for, Sean?
Who would you like to meet on a blind date?
The public is actually the ones
Come on.
that have done this. I ain't got a clue, but I'm going to go for Jade, innit? Because Jade, everybody loves Jade. Now you're getting it wrong.
That's cute.
Like that, man. Sway with it, sway with it, sway with it, flow with it. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Does anybody remember the wooden tops?
Lisa, who do you think the public would have voted for?
Kamal.
You think Kamal?
There,
Why?
I said it.
You went for Michelle. I can tell you that Michelle got 20% of the vote, but Kamal got 35% of the vote. Was the top answer. OK, Dave, this is your final question.
All right.
We asked the public which of these housemates would make the best superhero. Who got the most votes?
Oh, Victor, didn't you have a couple of names, like superhero names, like the Milkman? And did you do the plumber? Was that... Why was that?
Because I laid pipe.
He's basically our job man. We're going to go for Victor.
Yeah, OK, you're going for Victor. Sean, what do you think?
What would your superpowers be, Vic?
Turn up really late, take your account details and launder mass amounts of money through them. Fraud boy.
Should we go with Kamal?
Kamal had having an assortment of weapons to throw in it, like a laser mirror and like throwing boomerang stilettos and things.
You could also throw a hissy fit.
Yes,
OK, well, I can tell you that Kamal only got 16% of the vote. What? Victor was the top answer, 23% of the vote. Yes, according to the public, Victor would make the best superhero. One of his nicknames is the Milkman, because he always delivers milk. He's now a milkman, it's his job.